Good morning and welcome back. Good evening, good afternoon, whatever time you are tuning in. Oh boy, we are going to do a quick recap on episode 3, The Empress, before I go into this general collective read. And we just want to reiterate why, Sean Combs, he's had his hand in the pot when it comes to every last one of that 144,000, whether directly or indirectly. Please remember that he's just the beta, which is why he's had such a hard time in any kind of efficient and proper leadership, right? To put it mildly, he was never a leader in the beginning, and to begin with, and he naturally cannot do it. And he was placed into a perpetual beta position. He didn't like it. So he took it out on everybody in his favorite distorted scorpion demonic way. And he had help. And Erzurli Dantor from the Voodoo Loa Pantheon, who has been decommissioned and escorted straight to hell. Yes, Erzurli Dantor is in hell, suffering pure agony. The amount of work that she and Sean Combs put in is insane. Just her interaction with him alone was enough to transfer her ass out. But there was a lot of people who positioned her in their lives, petitioned her to help their lives, and she fell short. People might think, oh, it's a fickle thing, you didn't approach her properly. And these things, yeah, they do occur with Loa. With any Orisha, anybody that you're going to connect with on the other side, they can get fickle, just like you can, Is it a true camaraderie? Is it a true connection? What are you there for? What are you there about? Who are you perhaps harassing or throwing out of harmony or whatever? There's a bevy of things of why you're working with the entity on the other side, and they're like, we're not working with you, or we're not going to do this because you're going to end up getting us in trouble. And down to her, she could care less. I guess she thought she was untouchable, that she could do whatever she wants. And she took a liking to the 144,000. She was a hot mess with that. Instead of doing what everybody assumes she is there to do as a protector, she was doing the exact opposite. A cunt. Capital C word. Let me relax. Let me calm down. Okay. So this is just a recap. Some images of Dantor derived from, if you want to take a look at episode 3, you can get more information. But this is like her sigil. She doesn't have a heart when it was weighed out at the mod scale, or she didn't. It bypassed when the trumpets blew and took her ass up out of here with Papa Legba leading the whole exodus through the crossroads, and said she got to go, and she got to go into the V.I.P of hell. Very disrespectful. Anybody who is familiar with Papa, he does not tolerate disrespect. Eventually you will have to answer for that. You will, and you are. Some of you, even the best of us who've been disrespectful, maybe somehow we are dealing with having to pay for that. So this is who Sean Combs declared had his back, and she is no longer having his back. Right now she in his front. Yes, him got a front. His frontal lobe. That is his frontal lobe. That third eye has the image of Dantor currently in real time on. Let's look at that. This is somebody. This right here is a connector. Let's enlarge that. Found in the clouds, just hovering above my home. This is a connector. Like there's a lot of connectors. Let me be clear on that. A lot of connectors between Diddy and the 144. Okay, usually they're Freemason or some type of law enforcement corrupted, or something that is lower tier levels. There's the nucleus of all of this I call it Medusa, or the second beast of Revelations. This is the nucleus that had to get beheaded by the ancestors, the whole spirit team, when ape shit crazy and cut Medusa, who I also call Medusi, or the second beast of Revelations, cut the head off. Okay, and that's just that's tier one. That's that's the massa energy. But you got the overseer energies, people with authority that abuse it, authority and resources and finances, and then you have with all the corruptions. You could all forms of corruption. Then you have the house ninja, and then you have the field ninja. So the field ninjas is what's been coming for you, but this is a trickle down effect via, like magic abuse, Massa Medusi having certain magical, I'm gonna call it magic, but at the same time, it's kind of limiting what it really is. Everything is all energy, okay? And they have had such a control over the matrix because of certain knowledge that they had of the matrix, which is power. So they were able to control it in their favor. And they needed a family tree of demonic sigils in order to override the circuits of the matrix and take over the circuits of the matrix, okay? So while they're living in their mansions and their chateaus, and they're visiting the grottos and having fresh grappa with their meals, and they just came back from Tuscany, how nice, while we sit here and deal with housing instabilities and a whole, about to say a whole wrath, a whole package deal, but a whole wrath of God package deal, okay? Because they've been having access to secrets of how to manipulate the matrix, and we're all products of the matrix, how to manipulate certain things, and maybe it will come into the package of a grimoire, but a lot of times it's just having knowledge, mathematics, astronomy, and they can figure out where you are, who you are, from the time that you come out of your mother's womb space, or via C-section, they already in the damn room. A doctor, a nurse, somebody. Best believe, as they so-called cleaning you up, and you just spanked your bottom, and you're crying, everything's good, mom and dad, everything, the baby is fine, we're just going to take him over here, wipe him down, and put an anointing on them to override the fucking anointing God gave them. We at war with God, all right? So we're gonna take one of God's favorites from the womb space. You haven't been out 24 hours, 24 minutes yet, before we done did something to fuck your shit up. But we knew you were coming, because we have a science, we have a knowledge of how, the same way the three kings, those magi, found Yeshua in that manger. Okay. So there's a vast network, is what I'm saying, okay? And this piece of shit is the connector. This is the common denominator between, how I would have been somehow impacted by Sean Combs. But Sean Combs and I have crossed paths more than once. It's when I crossed that threshold of Sean John and dropped the treatment off, the shit has gone bananas, and it's been like that for years. I do understand gang stalking very well. Are we saying that Sean Combs is the reason behind it? Let me tell you something. I can't do a read nowadays, a general read. Okay, what do I need to know right now without Sean Combs' name up in it? From those times when we crossed paths, when there was an actual exchange, when DNA touched, no sexy time, but when he took that Big Mac container back in '94 and placed it in my hand, it's been on ever fucking since, actually. But it's when I said, okay, so you gave me that Big Mac container, and I got something to give you now, and crossed the threshold of Sean John. I didn't pitch it to him, I pitched it to an employee and left the treatment. And after that, a wormhole opened up and snatched my ass straight on into hell. on Earth what a rabbit hole, a wormhole will do, can do. It can do other things. And now things are, we're in the time of revelation, so um, there's a lot of revealing energies. Like for instance, um, when that rabbit hole opened up and snatched my ass up in it, never will I be the same again. I'm about to come out of cryostasis, and it's going to take some time too. It's going to take a lot of woe. But there was a lot of woe prior to this coming up. A lot of blessings, a lot of good times, but a lot of ass whoopings. To be prepared for now, to be kneaded like dough, to rise. But I remember now in that apartment where at that time, where the wormhole opened up and there was heavy demonic explosions, like, massive attacks and craziness, that the whole building stunk. And there was an asshole that moved in on the second floor right above my head. And at the time when I first moved to the place, it was a time of peace. But when I pushed that treatment into Sean John's, energy field, it went shot to shit, and it was on like popcorn. Okay, it was on full on. Like Poltergeist and Amityville Horror meets The Shining in my apartment. But there was this dude on the second floor, and now I'm being shown all the secret enemies. The known enemies is one thing, but now they're like, okay, they're being dealt with, but we need you to understand that this is also being dealt with, and that is the enemies are the enemies that are in whatever tier. House Ninja, which is usually the celebrities, right? Or politics, people with money, socialites, House Ninja. Today, there's a strong emphasis on the House Ninjas. The celebrities that you supported financially, supported energetically, and meanwhile, they know who you are and have been taking from you. These are constituents that definitely rode with Sean Combs, or definitely crossed paths and dilly-dallied with him in certain social circles, whatever. But today, because I pulled the oracle cards for today, and I'm going to clarify with my 357 Saratoga loaded with the Volga and with the Pope tarot deck, which I really am enjoying as of late. This has been a cool synergy of 3 different forms of divination today. In the past few days, I've been using them just for whatever is the energy right now for the collective. And it's of course it's whatever resonates with you, but same church, different pew. You're gonna hear me say that because I want to make it clear that even if you feel like it don't resonate, you know how this goes. If you're into watching these collective reads, give it a day. Give it by end of day. Sip on something, smoke a little something, cook something, get your house in order. You come back from work, you come back from entrepreneurship endeavors and stuff, and you got the right song on, and all of a sudden it hits you like, oh, that's what the hell she meant. That's the message that was coming out. It was same church, it was a different pew, it just wasn't, the way she was stating it, but it's completely applicable. So what I'm saying about now is, it's been celebs in your shit. They are answering to a larger, more intense pay grade. There's enemies, secret and unknown, that are connected to entertainment some way, somehow. Because that building that I lived in, when at the time of submitting the treatment to Sean John, there was an asshole that moved up on top, and he had his door open. It's a row house, it's a townhouse, so I was able to go in and out in my own entrance because I was on the garden floor. He was on the parlor floor, 1 floor above me. I found that he was very volatile in his sexual escapades, to the point that one of my portraits fell off the wall when it was a body slam. It was a fight between him and another dude. I guess the dude didn't like how things was popping, and boom, It was scary. It was very scary. Um, it was a dark time in that place because something wasn't right with this dude, and he kept his apartment door open. So one of the tenants said that he had an altar, and it smelled like bowel movement. And even though he was very Americanized, I could tell by his name that he is coming out of Yoruba, um, in Nigeria. And I know this because my stepfather is from Lagos, or however y'all, whatever with my accent or lack thereof, okay? But just from what stepfather was doing with my Eastern Star, witch of a mother, not biological by any means, but this is her man. So I'm dealing with with two practitioners. So you can imagine what that house was like coming up, what I was able to witness and see. Okay, so boom. Well, there's a lot coming through right now. There's a lot coming through. 1 second, y'all. Let me sort through because it's pouring out. So this dude, he's African, but very Americanized. Because I would see him in the front yard, I can see people because I'm on the ground level, and he's in the yard waiting for a cab or something like that. And I hear the accent, but I see his wardrobe, very superstar, like, very, hip, like young and fresh, very fashion forward. Later on, I would find out that he worked for Universal Music Group. How come Universal Music Group keep coming up? I mean, the jig is up at this point. More and more, what's today's date? The 16th, May 16th, with the court, the court hearing with Diddy, with the age of Aquarius hyphen Capricorn, where it's now everything is all out in the open to be seen and or to be punished and addressed thoroughly and or maybe rewarded. Whatever was in the dark that now it needs to be birthed out, and now you're going to get blessings and rewards. You're already getting that. That's going to continue. This is also Judgment Day, so some people are really getting amazing judgments, and some people are really getting hell on earth judgments, and it will, it's just going to be like that. It's just going to stay like that. But what you will definitely see is while this earthly court is in session, spiritual court is in session. So the earthly court is definitely dealing with the moon card, or the level of the moon in the arcana, where secrets are now to be revealed. But the dark side of the moon, that's to be dealt with on the spiritual realm, and then handed down, manifested into 3D, whatever ass whooping needs to be goings on. So what we keep seeing with Diddy is that he is completely and utterly into any kind of ritual, not just the Dantor ritual, right? It's anything that will support his cause of taking over people's thrones. Okay, this is an ancient relic, but a lot of throne, like he will be some mouth open, eyes crying. Let me show you the part where he's crying. And when he cries, it won't be tears. It won't be tears. It'll be blood fire. Big up to Pele for participating in this potluck of bringing heaven on earth and hell on earth and off-world. Okay, all the pantheons work in tandem. So Ogun has provided the cauldron to cart Pele's blood fire down into the V.I.P of hell. Moloch, aka Sean Combs, aka Diddy, aka this, that, and the third, aka sat your ass the fuck down. Oh, he's gonna be the one who helps the Queen of Heaven. I mean, Queen of Heaven, Queen of Hell, the new Hell, the new V.I.P of Hell. This is different renderings. He will be the throne which he sits down on. He shows up in a lot of stuff, did he? Yeah. Just fire pouring out of the eyes. I I love this picture. I didn't mean to bring this up, but hey, why not? What's up, y'all? Yay! That's what's up, y'all. How are they doing? They're doing spectacular. Motherfucking spectacular. It wasn't like that in the beginning. It wasn't like that in the beginning. And Zion wasn't like it is now. You know, the way it's broken down in Revelations, when you go to Zion, you bring your glory, you bring your karma. And so Zion expands and multiplies in multitude and fruitful because of who's allowed in and what they're bringing. Okay? So you got the V.I.P of the heavens, Zion, and you got the V.I.P of the hell, which is Diddy, aka Moloch, and his bride, Lilith. That's his bride. That's this one. This abomination. It's funny because we see her with the legs cock out, Queen of Wands distorted and nasty. But because she tapped into, this is her tapping into us, and now she done become an abomination with a massive scrotum sack right there. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that something? Yuck. But if you take a look, this is her face as well. Okay? So you see the eyes, the fucking eyelashes. I know everybody like the eyelashes. So does she. Them long ass eyelashes, okay? Sometimes it looks really friggin' cute, and sometimes it's just like, can you see? But can you look? Can you? Come on now. Come on, I mean, do you? Okay, if it's for some people, just make them feel good, make them feel motivated to get on up and out. But I'm just scared of eye infections and craziness. But doing your eyelashes up are, it's very enhancing and very beautiful. But she has excessive eyelashes. This is her nose. She has a very, very pronounced, very wide, very, very significant nose. That's her mouth, aka nutsack. Okay? So when I show other, you see her? See, also again with the wide nose. A very pronounced wide nose. It's important to talk about that wide nose because she kept sticking into people's business, right? But no, people will know exactly who she is. I don't have to ever say her fucking name. But everybody who, rallied around her to do foul shit to me, right? Same thing for your nemesis, everybody that I'm addressing. All the components that's part of her, right? All the components that's part of her. Because she's on one side of the coin with me. I mean, whatever your nemesis is that's on the other side of that coin with you, whatever she did, they did. Okay? Whatever she does, the rest of her components do. Because she's the Queen Emperor or Emperor Queen of the V.I.P of Hell and of all demons. And every one of our nemesis, our arch nemesis, and then we have other nemesis, we have enemies known and unknown. Today is about that. Known and unknown. Every last one of them, number one, we have pruned them from the tree of life and shut down their contract. There will be no more incarnation. For the 144,000, you're not even reincarnating. You see how we have the polarities? You have to have a balance. We have heaven on earth and we have hell on earth. Dante's Inferno is here. We have the V.I.P of the heavens and we have the V.I.P of hell. Okay? So, there's so much more. Okay, they're pointing me towards the pale horse. They said focus. Okay. So this is the book from William C. Cooper. Okay? And out of it renders my grandmama, which we see again because she works with Pele. So that's my grandmother. That's her eyes, her face, her lips. This part of the head. This shows her as the Sophia, where she's able to go into people's brains and escort them out through the basal ganglia. They will not wake up and their body will still be alive. That's not the problem. But the basal ganglia, the short ram of the matrix, right? That's at the gate of hell, or the gate to the VIP of hell, the short ram, which a matrix, a system will get rid of whatever is not necessary. It's always through the short ram. So if that's the gate of Herod in Jerusalem, or the gate of hell, period. And in Jerusalem, you have the gate of Zion. The gate of Zion is now the CPU, the controlling, the motherboard, okay? The controlling factor, okay? That's where Yahshua, Father God, Mother God, his wife, so Wrath and Doom, Van Doom, the two of them are there running thing. But there's plenty of gods and goddesses, emperor gods, empress goddesses that we are here on this planet, just to reiterate that. So when I took the William C. Cooper cover and rendered it out, I saw Grandma as the Sophia. And when you pull a brain, an actual X-ray photo of a brain, you can see it looks like this. It looks like this in between the gray and the white matter, or in between realms of energy. So Grandma is, she can move life around. It's very avataric energy. Yes, Grandma. You can call her Miss Lucille. There's two Lucilles when it comes to the war system, when it comes to the apocalyptic horsemen and women and the actual horses. Not all the horses are actual horses. There's only one horse, actually, that's a horse, period. The other three horses, the red, who's also called Lucille, the black, which is called Apocalypto, whoa, with a bottle of Henny and a bottle of Cisco, oh no. And then, that's his whole name, by the way. And then Rigor Mortis is the pale horse's name that we go by, but also he was known in history as Alexander the Great. What's up, Alex? How are you? Mwah. Puddin'. It's amazing that Ark of the Covenant, who's there from different times throughout history. You got Alexander, you got Stan Lee, you got Martin Luther the King. You got some serious folks at this table. You got some gangster folks. You got Braveheart, William Wallace, having a tete-a-tete with Malcolm X. I'm jumping ahead. I will show y'all the blueprints of that round table where everybody sits and how they handle their business, and that's why, Diddy is just a beta and has always had a problem with that. But anybody that's alpha, that's been wilding out, that's been Medusi at the core, Massa, that's been deploying all the other levels, tier 3, well, no, what would that be? If Medusa is tier 1, so tier 2 is the overseers, law enforcement that's corrupt. Then you have tier 3, house ninjas, the famous, and there's an emphasis on this. I'm really disappointed. Some of them I've crossed paths with. I had to. So did the 144,000. We had to. A lot of us was, stolen or pillaged from energetically for fame. And where we don't care about the fame, except for it being evidence that we are doing something right, that we are getting out what we need to get out to the masses, right? These people took that. They snatched that. Now, every 144,000, and even those who we protect, those who are connected to us, you're already famous as fuck. Because Zion has got immeasurable amount of not just humans, but all kinds of life, teeming with life, many different types of life forms, highly intelligent, seated at the round table, at the new Ark of the Covenant, the Matrix, the new Matrix, physics. So of course Einstein is part of this, right? So you're crazy famous already. And they keep showing up in people's reads. because you're being watched over and being protected by and impressing many on the other side of the veil in Zion, watching, protecting. It's awesome. You're already massively famous. And that's spiritually. Imagine it coming down here. And it's not about, okay, now it's my turn to be famous. I think all of us have been, in one degree or the other, desensitized from the wanderlust of becoming famous and stuff like that. Many of us have hid, especially if you're under the Pisces sign or have Pisces placements, right? Yeah, hid. Cancer too. Scorpio, you're like, I don't want the limelight. Yeah, because you just reached a point of maturity or reached a point in understanding things spiritually where you're like, nah, I'm good. I'd rather stay anonymous. But that's not what this is. Sorry, you won't be able to do that. You won't be able to stay anonymous. So that's coming to a close. But what has to happen first is that you have to clean the gunk out of a funky ass vessel in order to bring in the fresh and new. So we got to get people up out of your energy, clear and detox the vessel, which is you, so that we can pour back in what they have taken. And this is how the meek inherits the earth, because you're going to need the resources. You're going to need the resources. You're in the 3D, you're on earth, you're going to need the resources. You're going to need the stability. You're going to need to not be worried. And since we've been dealing with decades of worry, having the floor crumble from underneath us, and assholes like, you just can't seem to get a lesson, figure out your lesson, why you keep repeating the same mistakes and you keep doing the same shit. Like, I can't fuck with you. You full of drama and shit. Yo, everybody who says shit like that to the 144,000, number one, you might have been the one that was doing the spell work, throwing the rock and hiding your hand. I don't know why you keep getting fired. You keep fighting at the end and getting fired at the end. Because, bitch, you cursed my motherfucking job and you think I don't fucking know it. You cursed it and put conflicts. So of course, I'm leaving out of there telling everybody to kiss my motherfucking ass because I was treated horrifically. It didn't start out like that. All of a sudden, I'm public enemy number one at my job because your ass done did some candle work and some menstrual work and some other work and some other shit, death spells, you put shit in my food and stuff like that. And you're just like, I can't understand. I can't understand. I can't understand. Bitch, you don't gotta understand shit. You gotta get the fuck on up out of here. Okay? Let me calm down. You are a means to the end. Sorry if you're feeling like a token. But you that Ramses and that Saul, that God hardens the heart, and it's stated in the Bible that's exactly what God did. Hardens the heart to make them go after the Davids, after the Moseses, okay? To push them out of the comfort zone and push them to their throne, their destiny. Okay? Because you're not going to have power and dominion over masses of people, influence over masses of people, and not revere the Most High, not be connected to the Most High and being led by the Most High, who you think you are. In the age of Aquarius-Capricorn, you got to set the fuck down. You will not be able to take away people's sovereignty, to fill up your coffers, to keep you in the Beamer Benz and Bentleys and shit. Okay, while people are in the shelter system, people on SNAP benefits when they shouldn't have been. You have harassed, stolen, pillaged people's bounty, their good karma from their ancestors, the work their ancestors put in. So now you have this round table with different apocalyptic apartments, departments. And in those sectors, you have all these different pantheons, depending on what energy. Are they coming through the white horseman energy, the red horseman energy causing havoc on the planet? Are they coming through the black, to make sure that the meek inherit the earth? Are they coming through the rigor mortis to put motherfuckers out of here in droves? Drop kick open the short ram, the saloon. You got Doc Holliday, Wyatt Earp, what's up? Hey fellas, they're back. They don't have no problem, especially Wyatt Earp. God damn it. What an amazing writer, too. And Tupac took a quote from him and rocked it into a hook. When it's time to jerk them up, you gotta jerk the trigger. When it's time to rig them up, you gotta jerk the rigger, right? Okay, and I know I'm dyslexic, so I will continue to dismantle and put back together that hook so many different times. But y'all get the point. When it's time to jerk them up, you gotta jerk the jigger. Ooh, jigger. Ooh, jigger. Ninja. Anyway. Ooh, I think Tupac said hi to Jay-Z. Okay. Hey, Jay-Z from Tupac. Oh, they got me looking at this picture again. It's still on my computer. Like I said, they had a little beef when they were both up in Zion in the beginning. They were very angry. Very angry. Wouldn't you have been? To be assassinated and then left in a ghost form. Not even moved into the light. That's fucked up. Right? But now in Zion, they have a body and they can switch and morph that body up, come back and forth in and out this reality, because that's the new matrix physics. And you would never know. They're sitting there talking to you. They're walking behind you up the block. And they know that you had something to do with them getting taken out. They know exactly who it is. And as a medium and access to the Hall of Records to open up and see what the fuck's going on, I already know that those who double cross big is looking at me like, oh bitch, I thought we was able to go undetected because there was enough people to put, in the focal point and shine a light on them as far as Biggie going out the way he went out. There's much more than that. And you know it. And you know it. We all know it now. Enough. Know it enough. Now, I'm not going to rat on no folks. And you're not going to come for me. Because you'll suffer horrifically. Just like that. So, first thing with my grandmother. Now, if you turn it around, it's Pele. And she's in cahoots with my grandmother. Like I said, you ain't gonna do nothing to me but suffer. We'll do a segment just on grandma so y'all can understand how vicious the protection is, okay? She's young and fresh now, but I know her as grandma, right? But y'all can call her Miss Lucille, and if at the 144,000, you're welcome to call her, talk to her. Get confirmation, get assistance, clarity. You fam. She protects you. That's an automatic deal. Grandma was very, on this side of the veil, very, very generous. Very generous. You wasn't going to be on the street. You weren't going to be hungry. Not on her watch. Okay? So for her to be in charge of how the meek inherits the earth makes complete sense. Complete sense. So how we are physically before the awakening out of cryostasis and who we are now, we're very, very, very aware of how powerful we are, how much responsibility comes with it. We're not going to say, oh, with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah. That sounded good when we first heard it. We was like, yeah. But we're light years away from that right now. What type of responsibility? Let's get practical on it. There's a lot of folks that you can impact, that you are impacting. Okay. So, of course, your protection is turned up. So, let me put on my reading glasses, child. It says, whoa. So on the back of this, Grandma, Pele, right? In the back of this, it says, whoa, hold your horses. 38 special, so special, so special, so special, so special, right? Fucked around and found out that the gods and the goddesses done shook that crown and dethroned the motherfucker. Yoked up and woe out. So there's people, like I said, in the house ninja known and unknown, that are in positions of power, that Diddy is involved in, connected to. You're going to see more and more confirmations personally, individually, that Diddy had a hand in the dark side of the moon when it comes to you. The frontal side of the moon is what we're seeing him answer for in the court of law. But all that he did that is now being, dealt with and addressed in the court of law, and more court cases to come, it goes in tandem, of course, with what was on the dark side of the moon. He had to do these things to harvest energy. So there's victims that he accosted, there's allegedly, whatever, that word alleged, whatever. So there's he's Moloch, a savage, right? So Moloch sat up there, and if you know about Moloch, it's all about sacrificing innocent children, anything, okay? So we're addressing what he did illegally in human law, but it was done to get at you, the 144, and others. But that's thousands of people. So that means Medusi, they have quite a knowledge on how to spot, how to find. They have quite the knowledge of how to spot, to find, and then tether themselves to chosen Trojan ones. Only thing is, every last one of them, this is the paradox, is you want to know, how is Diddy Moloch? Like, please make it make sense. He is Moloch. I know it's a paradox because people were worshiping Moloch 2, 3, 4, 5,000 years ago. But it wouldn't be until now, right now, that he becomes Moloch. So when people go to petition and worship and build up monuments and things, on all levels, from Medusi down to Field Ninja, specifically with Moloch, and then also the satanic shit too, right? And any kind of demon that they can, sit down and bargain and barter with. But with Moloch, this is serious, because this is a massive. We always talk about satanic rituals, but there's Moloch rituals. A lot of us was put through that, and it just blew up in their face. So now they are abominations headed for the VIP of hell. When it comes to worship, when it comes to time and space, when it comes to energy, don't put limits on it. Moloch had to become Moloch at some point in the timeline. Just because he became that now during the birthing, this last incarnation, the finalization of the fall. Diddy is one of those that went up against Baba, Father, the Father God that we know, that has now relinquished the throne and has given it to the Father God, Yahshua. But Baba, you're going to hear me say this more and more to differentiate. Baba, was at war with Moloch. Casted him and everybody else right on out. To Satan, everybody. Casted out. But their fall never ended. It ends now. As of right now. And that's when they become the demons, that you see the sigils, you see the the likenesses, visions and testimonies about what happens when one of these demons are casted on you, casted within you, casted out of you, or people are petitioning them to do things to you, whatever. Or for those who worship them, like, well, I worship them and I got this, that, and the third, I suggest you stop. You're gonna have to put the sigil down and back the fuck up off of it, because it's not the same matrix. So these sigils are going to put a bullseye on you, get you out of here fast. You'll be, before you know it, disintegrating right in front of everybody's eyes, and we will know why. You've been doing some dumb shit, okay? So all these hidden enemies, and these enemies that are so well hidden because they have several homes all over the planet, and they're rich and famous, you would never know. that they know exactly who you are, keep tabs, come and visit you at your fucking job at the cashier and shit, all up in your face in awe that they were able to reach 500,000, 500,000,000, half of this, half of that off of you. And you sitting up there ringing up shit at Walgreens. Ain't that some fucked up shit? You might be happy and at peace and they are in hell on earth, but that's still an imbalance. So it's been so much of that the fall stops now. Moloch, Satan, Beleth, Azazel, and Beelzebub, and all these different major demons. They were in the human form right now. Some of them are gone, just recently passed. COVID wiped out a few. They are gone or going. And this will be their final incarnation. And the ones that they went up against, this is our final incarnation. As per the book of Revelations, we are sevenfold beings where we will be sent out no more. Now, those that are protecting us, Christopher Wallace, William Wallace, Malcolm X, okay, everybody. I'm talking about the men folk. We haven't even gotten to the manifest of the women folk who are, the men folk are warriors, of course. They're going to get the job done. And they can go in and out of time. Hello, Miss Maya. They can do that. The physics got it like that. They got it like that, right? Wow. Okay. Well, you will too eventually have it like that. You can astral project. You have a lot of powers that had to be awakened and opened. Okay, so they said moving forward. Okay. There's so many people talking right now. Okay, so it says, whoa, hold your horses, 38 special, you're so special, fucked around and found out. Well, this is the fuck around and find out jubilee that we're in. I don't know when it's going to end. So now, you got Pele, the crown, grandma's crown. So some people have been escorted out, and you would never know. They've been escorted out the basal ganglia of the brain. The brain is that intricate, that incredible, that you can be escorted out and through the frontal lobe be brought in somebody else to take over that meat suit. And they might walk around weird. It's going to take a while for them to acclimate because they wasn't born in that body. But this is the dreadful weapon that was prophesied. People, this magi that's like, oh, I can do the same thing. What you saying? You can't do it like us. Like the Ark of the Covenant. No, you cannot. And that's just only one dreadful weapon of a dreadful weapon system. There's other ways that you can get the fuck on out of here. But right now, it's, grandma's involved. So because she's involved and she's the Black Horse Woman, you can call her Miss Lucille. Lucille is going to make sure we inherit the earth. She said, don't harm the money, the Bugattis, don't harm the mansions and the chateaus, don't harm the empires, unless they need to get the fuck on. They're too corrupted. But she's getting rid of millionaires and billionaires and, the alphas that ran Diddy. She's all up in there, and there's nothing they can do about it. Interesting. On the back of this abomination, right? It says Medusi, like I said. There's been a lot of Medusi activities in the Medusa, the core, the massa section of the matrix that's been given a good firm spanking and bamboozled. They got tricked. This is the illest hustle. All of them are damned, and they can feel it. There's plenty of funerals. I don't know who gonna make the good potato salad. Hold the fucking raisins. I don't know what you're putting raisins in your potato salad for. Knock it off. You're supposed to put egg and some paprika and chopped onion and and it gotta look yellow. I don't know why your potato salad ain't yellow. Okay, so It said, cursing you since you were a child, ruining all your relationships and love and work. You have had women beating up on you, whether it's heterosexual or homosexual relationships. Your counterpart has been putting hands on you, or emotional, some type of abuse, or your friends, or your family, or your offspring, your neighbors, your fellow employees, um, the employees in which you govern over, all of a sudden just shut down. These are also people who want to be you real bad, even if they're older than you. When I say older, I'm talking about elder with gray hair, wishing they were you and angry and bitter about it. But they've been bitter and angry and nasty and been in that kind of energy from a long time ago, from birth. This is who they are. And here you come, and you coming at a time where they're really, really nasty about it and playing with spell work, becoming an abomination. So kids might feel weird about that. This is out of some ruins. Now, this right here, I like this. This is actually a good card. Every little step, that's what it's called, and got a little heart right there, saying that this wasn't in vain, to go down in ruins, to have these horrible moments, and also have these amazing moments that you were able to truly appreciate. This has been your life, the ones who I'm talking to. You've had, some really horrific times and some really amazing, harmonious, miraculous times that you know that you are loved and revered and respected. You know that you are a Trojan one. You know that it could have been much, much worse. Okay, you know this. But you had some extraordinary moments. And you don't even need extraordinary moments to feel good. These people do. So fucking with you is an extraordinary moment. But every little step, this is important for my Davids and Davidas. When Saul, who had that earthly power and shit, didn't know how to respect it. You got all these people in your care. You're in control of an environment, an ecosystem with people to eat off of, and you're not doing what you're supposed to do. And there's children of God in this mass that you ruling over instead of serving. And so you're gonna have to get the fuck on, and God is gonna use you. That tradition is gonna continue. That's just part of the matrix. Even though the matrix is refreshed and new and upgraded, there's still certain rules of the human experience or of existence in its entirety, right? So you still got to play by certain rules. Every little step that you've taken is bringing you to this ultimate, amazing, happy ending, okay? And you're like, when is that? When is that? Listen, all those extraordinary moments, you really, people they were like, I did this to you, I did that to you, yet you still have these extraordinary moments to travel, to experience this, miracles, straight up miracles, fond memories, something amazing when you took a leap of faith, perhaps, okay? And you were able to really appreciate that and have the wisdom to really taste. You have the taste buds that could taste it. These people who come for you, they don't have the sense of taste. They can't enjoy it. And the only thing that they can enjoy is extraordinary moments only, or what is extraordinary for them and causing you harm. Okay? So imagine in totality, you've gone through all these different things, and it's culminating in this ill-ass spiritual war where you're going through shit right now, but you still know what peace is. So every time you can feel peace, you're enjoying it. So they keep sending anxiety spell work. We know this, okay? And we override it. Boom. We recognize it for what it is and don't own it. Boom. Don't you know that that whole package, the whole package deal of you being sevenfold, of you shutting down contracts to the tree of life so that people, that this is where it stops for them too, but they're going in the VIP of hell. You're going to the VIP of the heavens. With the kingdom of heaven now here, so is hell on earth. So you're watching them go through hell. and you're having heaven, but they're grabbing at you, they're clawing at you. Everybody's like, you think they would stop? They can't, because they know that they're leaving. They know that they're leaving. They may not have, until listening to myself and others that can give them more of an understanding of how fucked they are and where they're going. Where you're going. You're going here to the V.I.P of hell is where you're going. Oh, it's going to be stupendous. I'm hearing stupendous. Pure agony, uncut. Pure agony. Where you're going is pure ecstasy. So there's a lot of things that are still kept hidden from you. You're like a horse being taken out of a fiery barn. The ancestors are hiding a lot of stuff from you and a lot of stuff from them. Continuously hustling these assholes that keep coming for you. Eventually you'll sit in your throne, and eventually Moloch will be that throne, and with his bride should be sitting down on him. Both of them are in a trajectory of leaving the planet very, very shortly. I mean, they're constantly in danger. Moloch and Lilith, constantly. And their health is not too great. Now, is it? So, in any direction, they can just expire and exit. Their bodies are not viable. So nobody will be taking over Diddy's body. Nobody wants to, it's not necessary. Just get his ass to where he needs to be, according to the Lord. Dontor don't live here no more. Dontor got your ass in trouble. Didn't she do it? Now this card, this is Papa Like, but this is in Atlanta. When we went down to Atlanta, you can see him. This is him calm. I see other faces in there though. It's other faces. And it says the BJ raid, and it says ATL, 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 that there's a Pythagoras. Look how much time we in, 56? Okay, I'm gonna try to wrap this up with this last card. It's BJ's raid. This is the name of one of my premonitions that at the end of this, everybody gets raided. Some of these raids will be, publicized. Some of them will not be. Because you've cut communication from them, or these are hidden enemies that you didn't even know is your enemy, you didn't even know. And they're getting raided for other things. But their karma of why they're getting raided is because they tapped into you, have become this. So there is a happy ending. You will not stay in this status for long. Well, you will not stay in this status. You're a gangster. You signed up for this tech eons ago. The perks, the celestial currency, and the perks of paying these dues are paying off for you now. To keep your offspring, your bloodline protected. You will never have to reincarnate again. So this is like you putting in a whole hard day work every day and TGIF on Friday. Because on the weekend, you're chilling. Well, eventually you'll have your weekend where you're chilling, but you're still going to need purpose. So there'll be a time where you're going to be on Earth or in Zion, and you might not come back to Earth because Zion is that dope. It's a multi-universe. Different planets, different star systems, different species, and it's all amazing. This is God's, Father God's mansion. It's ever expanding because only amazing creations, only worthy go there because you got to bring your glory, aka your karma, there. So obviously, that's what it is, because Zion wouldn't be so incredible. 15 years ago, Zion was just like a chain of islands that were amazing and gorgeous. But now it's a multi-universe? Interesting. So the ATL, during COVID, my family and I, Papa Lepa and the ancestors got us out of our Brooklyn home, took us to ATL. We thought we were going to go there to stay. But again, like I said, the ancestors will cover your face and pull you out of burning barns. So you have to leave, or you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to move this way, move this way, move that way, move that way, so that you don't get caught up in something horrific. The various plots and plans that have been on repeat. Remember, there's corrupt law enforcement, which is why Diddy was able to run amok. Can we stop acting like we're dumb? Okay, and I'm just throwing that out there. No one's dumb. We know this already, but we tend to be quiet, or there's spell work being done so we don't think about the corrupt law enforcement that have the resources and the audacity, the gall, that also do Moloch worship and all types of sexual rituals and participate in adding to the funk of Medusi, aka Medusi. Okay? The ritual and thing. So when we went down to ATL, we stayed in 3 main places. The 4th one was, we were wrapping up and coming back up. So each place was a headquarters, but the first 3 places was, we were there to stay. We consecrated these places. And we'll talk about the consecration. Nothing crazy. Ain't nobody did no ritual, no crazy shit. But we just dedicated these places to certain deities. The first place we dedicated was High John. That was our first location. So that became his headquarters once we left. High John from the Hoodoo Pantheon. Now you can go through High John for court cases. What's up, High John? By the way, hello. I haven't spoken to you in a minute. Everybody's been busy at that table. Okay, at the round table. But big up to High John. And in the back of this property is this massive tree trunk that was cut down. And Papa Legba guided me to the tree trunk, took off my flip-flops, had my cup of coffee in my hand, and stood on the trunk. And just enjoyed the peace of being in ATL, all this greenery, all the trees, all this space. I said, do I have to anoint this with a protection oil and stuff like that? And he gave me, some High John type of instruction. And I got up off the tree trunk and I went back inside. And I didn't sit down, I didn't lay down, I didn't cut up a chicken, I didn't do any of that shit on no tree trunk. The 144,000, we don't gotta do none of that shit. I don't gotta do none of that. None of it. Though I rock with the Orishas and the Loa, they already know how I get down. What altar? I am the altar. I'm the altar. So I'm not going to pour some chicken blood. I'm not doing that. I don't mind a sweet smelling oil to anoint my doorway or something like that. So I can praise over the oil and anoint I have the authority and the power to do so. So I'll do that and anoint my family with it, myself with it. But I'm not going to do the old school way or unnecessary way from my alchemy as an alchemist. That's not for me. It's gonna blow up in my face. Plus, I don't want to do that. Cut up no damn chicken or no goat. That's not for me. But this tree trunk was key because when you're dealing with High John, those who are familiar, you deal with the High John root. You do root work with hoodoo. I'm fairly new to this, but big up to all the hoodoo practitioners that's on the up and in the right. There's plenty of blessings for you. Stay in that energy, and Zion will be wide open for you. Okay? Talk to some of your ancestors and see if they can get to Zion, because they'll be able to help you even better from there. The resources are incredible. Okay, so that was the first headquarters. The second headquarters, we'll get into that. We'll talk about it more. The second and the third, but I will tell you, the first headquarters with High John and that tree trunk, which is a massive root. The image that shows up in that tree trunk, I didn't have to do any rendering. It is Diddy in his demonic form, and I will be providing that. Just hold your horses type shit. We're gonna cover the Diddy trial, the spiritual trial, on this channel. Okay? Oh shit. So, it's fun, exciting, because it's justice. Finally, right? So the second headquarters is dedicated to law enforcement, assisting law enforcement if they done lost their way. Well, let us help you. So there's a deity there, and we're gonna get into who that deity is. Oh, we're gonna have fun with that. You're gonna be like, what the fuck? Whew. Then, I'm sorry, I got thrown off a little bit. Then the final part of that Pythagoras and ATL is dedicated to a new Loa. This is a new Loa added, and he was quite the singer and performer, entertainer on this side. Oh, we love him. We love him. On point. And I'm grateful because who he is as a Loa, when he's in Loa mode, but if he's not in Zion chilling on the veranda, smoking on something nice and enjoying Zion and stuff, he, everybody got purpose, and one way or the other, he turns into this Loa. And he's a singer, but he's also an actor. There's a movie that he starred in as a villain, and that actually is the depiction of the Loa he has become. Even there's receipts and renderings showing up with him in this formation, and I'm like, oh my God, that's so dope. As a kid, I watched the movie, was just like, oh my God. Meanwhile, now when he's in that transformation, that Loa status, he protects me. It's just crazy because somebody who is a mega star and is a legend who's passed over is now at a table with many legends of whether in entertainment or not. The arc it's got many different departments in it, science, everything. But the greats, the best of the bestesses, that's all I fucks with, okay? And he, he's very, very protective. And it's cool to say, hey, how are you? Like, how's it going? Meanwhile, I'm just like, you're a huge legend for decades on this side, right? But kicking ass on the other side, now I'm safe, my family's safe, so I appreciate him. We'll talk about him, but that's his headquarters, the final headquarters, and that deals with people going to prison. So those who want to come close to doing you something, then something happens and they go to prison. If they wanted to put you in prison, that's one of the plots to some wicked, evil, you need to be horsewhipped, law enforcement, okay? That you got this badge and yet you are actual criminal, right? Now you're being disintegrated down, aren't you? Aren't you? One way or the other. And some might be like, I'm not disintegrating, bitch. Da 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 da. Well, you call me bitch, and that now you can get the hell up on, right? Now you can get up out of here. Because I called you bitch? Yes, because you called me bitch. Anyway, so it's saying jackpots. Your future self is avenging you. Now this is important because there's tremendous enemies, right? That's going into prison or death. There's certain numbers that you can, 79, 219, and 719. These are number codes that if you see them come up, they're dealing with, even 777. 777 is a Phoenix code right now, for right now. And so you're being blessed coming out of ashes and they're going into ashes. Because that's what ATL, that's what Atul means in the Mayans and the Aztec. ATL or Atul is either the symbol shows either land going cataclysmically down, like Atlantis going down, or coming back up again, rising. So either cataclysm, you went down by cataclysm, a tower moment, and now you are rising and they are now going. They are now going. We're talking about we're addressing those that were unknown to you, that had plenty of resources, plenty of power, definitely in entertainment, definitely rogue law enforcement, definitely in secret societies of rotted chapters that will be pruned from these societies. Because not every chapter is full of shit like this. But those who are being pruned, whole chapters dropping into hell. The V.I.P, the V.I.P, the V.I.P of hell. Out of time. A lot I'm hearing Miss Meyer. Out of time. Out of time. Future self, now she's saying, she's harping on the time portion. With the time, because the physics is different, physics is more suitable and conducive to us sevenfold beings, to fifth dimensional work, to the age of Aquarius - Capricorn, okay? Because of that, because of the Ark of the Covenant, because of Zion, because we can come in and out of this reality at any point in the timeline of this reality. So 300 years from now, you're in Zion, and you're like, okay, let's go back to the culmination time. 300 years in Zion, you don't learn jujitsu, you don't learn everything, like Neo in the Matrix. you just upload all these programs, and you are incredible with weaponry, with guns, with this, with that, blah 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 blah. And your future self comes right back to now, May 16th, as of today, May 16th, and you already know where a certain stalker or hitman is coming for you. But you all of this. You're supernatural in the natural. Your future self. You're here. You're restricted somewhere, or you're packing because you're finally leaving one place and you're getting stabilized. And while that's happening, people want to sit down and focus on what they can do to you. And while they're doing that, your future self, which they don't recognize, and just somehow, some way, can come in and out of this physics, in and out of time. And then your future self goes and snatch them up, and they disappear. Okay? Those who do reads, check on what I just said about your future self. Between you and yourself and your oracles. Ask, what was my future self doing to avenge me? Because that is prevalent. I'm talking to a good chunk of people right now that your future self is here protecting you. You want to know why you're still alive? Because your protection is the illest. It's not just the spiritual family protecting you. Okay? How much time are we in? I did not mean to go over this amount, but it needs to be told. There's a lot that needs to be told. You get a tarot. On Grandma and Pele, may I please have some more clarity? Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So we got this kind of entertainment. Look at the plaques. Music industry. That's heavy in magic. The entertainment. Why do you think Hollywood is the wood that's chosen, but it's intergalactic, interdimensional, new Ark of the Covenant that has taken over the Matrix and changed and worked out its physics and cleansing out the rot. Not bringing in perfection. That'll fuck us up. We got to keep both. Just that one can't rule over the other. There's got to be a level of sovereignty. It's a very gully time. So people who had a problem with your Nine of Pentacles trying to take that from you, like I've been saying through this read, take away your Nine of Pentacles, rule you. Like how, I got you for 10 years, 10 record contract. What kind of shit is that? Right? Big up to Cassie. Big up to Cassie. So people who wanted to put you in a subservient way to be abused, to attract abuse, energetically hexing and cursing and doing all kinds of stuff to keep you from this. Grandma and Pele is taking care of that. The pale horse. People are leaving. They're passing away. There's a 9. That 9 of Pentacles, that 9 is a completion. But it didn't just complete. They caused you collapse with that 9. A 9 is a collapse too. It caused you collapse. Now they must collapse. Now they must pay for it. Give me something on the every little step that these Ramses and these Sauls have pushed 144 and others who are also chosen. Justice is flying out. Justice and Emperor. 2 major arcanas. Justice and Emperor. This Emperor is, this is a lot of the menfolk I was talking about. This is Father God and Mother God. This is Wrath and Doom. And this is a balance of who you are too. You are just, and you have the Emperor energy, trailblazing energy. energy that that requires you to get upright and move forward. But let me tell you something else about these two cards right here. Look at the number code. Woo! 11-4, November 4th. What up, Moloch? Isn't that his birthday? Now, 114 is Papa Legba number. Hey, mwah, big up to Papa Legba. Big Papa Legba is actually his name nowadays. He's reached his boon as well. So Papa Legba is way more powerful. Please don't underestimate and or disrespect him, because you will feel it. The whole arc will come for your ass. Nobody in the arc, Father, Mother God, don't nobody play about they Papa Legba. Don't nobody play. Pele don't play. Pele will be like, what? All of a sudden there's lava flowing and shit because somebody is messing with Papa Legba. Who you think you are to mess with Papa Legba? But this is Diddy, the justice system that systematically be killing them, right? There's a different justice. This is the high spiritual court. This is Biggie. This is Pot. This is Martin Luther King and his beautiful bride, Miss Coretta. Okay? This is the ancestors. This is mothers and fathers and grandmothers, forefathers and foremothers. They ain't for no bullshit. This is Alexander the Great and his beautiful counterpart, Santa Muerte. Because he's the pale horse rigor mortis and she's the rider of the pale horse. Big up to Santa Muerte and, to Alexander and Santa Muerte. Okay? She's a sweetie pie. Santa Muerte, I love her. I love her. Whenever we connect, it's always a warm energy. It's always a maternal, amazing energy. And the maternal energy is me over her. Like, I'm her mom when it comes to Santa Muerte. And that's an honor. That's an absolute honor. I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm so glad I'm out of cryostasis. Lord. Oh, my Lord. Lord. Glory, right? Glory, karma. Oh, my Lord. Lord. Spiritual war, fair. More civil suits. I heard civil war, but I'm hearing civil suits. Woo! Lots of that. The Magician. Okay, so you are very magical. You are the architect of your life. You are sovereign. You got tremendous enemies that's going down because they thought that they was they thought they was Aleister Crowley. They thought that they was the shit net. And I'm talking power. This motherfucker here threw everything in the kitchen sink at you. Your house came alive, was coming for you. Everything was bad. Everything. For a long time. Okay? And that shit is now culminating. We're in the climax. We're in a bloodbath when it comes to that. Hold on. Okay? You got the weekend. TGIF, right? You got the weekend. Today the 16th, 1 and 6. That's the tower, right? The Magician and the Lovers making high choices, because that Lovers card, Gemini, big up to Geminis. The Lovers card, when you superimpose the first 12 cards of the major arcana onto the mega war system of the arc, at the 6 o'clock position of the short ram, the gateway of hell, if you superimpose even the map of Jerusalem, Herod, the gateway of Herod is the gateway of hell at the 6 o'clock position. Gateway of heaven, gateway of Zion and Jerusalem is at the 12 o'clock position. The Gemini energy is dealing with both. Your high choices getting you through the CPU, getting you through to the V.I.P of Zion. So that's what I'm saying. Big up Geminis. You take the high road, damn it. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Don't you be laughing and carrying on. You know what I'm talking about. Gemini's always and snickering and cackling and shit, because you know what the fuck I'm talking about. It ain't about being goody goody or perfect. We're not talking about that. Okay? I got you on that. I got you. But a low road decision, this ain't the time to do that. This ain't the time to do that, Natal. And you're the genius of the zodiac. Well, I suggest you get real fucking smart and real genius like, and watch yourself, watch your P's and your damn Q's, because low choice, it will have you slip up into something crazy out of nowhere, just blow up. This nuclear in your face, and maybe some of y'all have some get out of jail chips, some protection. But why do that if you don't, just if you're not so intuitive, or you are intuitive but you say fuck it, I still want to make this choice. Just know that this ain't the time to say, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this low vibrational activity, or say nah, this ain't maybe 12 years ago you could, 24 years ago you could, but not now, not ever. One more overall card, please. We got this Magician card up in here. People really, they really gonna try? Yeah, they're really gonna try to continue to come after you. I felt that. They're really gonna try to continue. You see what this chick is gonna wanna just come in. But you're the Empress, the Queen of Wands. You're the Emperor, the King of Wands. You got them wands. And you got protection coming from the outside. So you just focus forward, actually. You could do your return to senders, you can do all that stuff, but I suggest you face forward and let the ancestors do this. Look at them. Please let them do it. Please let them come and bring that iron rod, that wrath, that doom. Let them do it. Okay? I'm looking at the time, y'all. I'm not going to keep y'all. We're just going to pick one more from my 357 Saratoga. Loaded with the Volga. Great pending. So for the graveyard spell work, these witches, it says to the witches, to the witches, the spoils of foiled foul womb spell work returned as payment was as request. Let's read this again. To the witches, the spoils of foiled foul womb spell work returned as the request was rejected, and a payment has now come due for the belligerence of foul-smelling wenches. Graveyard spell work. So there's a lot of issues in the womb space that was supposed to be for you, or maybe you got a fibroid or some shit, right? It's painful, but you'll take care of it. That's all you got to worry about, if anything. But for these people here, because they came specifically for the womb, the Holy Grail, because they came for your Ace of Cups, because they came for the menfolk, they came for your sacral and your root chakras, they came and they did that. So now their phallus, their sacral, their reproductive systems are now their way out. Grade pending. This same church, different pew. Some people are at the front of the church, they're about to exit. And some are at the back trying to fall asleep and stuff and act like this ain't coming for them. But it is. Grade pending. Or that moon magic. And you see the cubes in the sky? Those cubes is them attempting to... Lovers at the bottom of the deck. Like I said, Gemini energy. But those cubes, this was the 8 of coins. It's like warping the 8 of coins energy. These people put a Faraday cage with a coin or a sigil at each point of the cage to keep you controlled, where they can just pull the golden eggs out of their golden goose, but you don't get to enjoy those golden eggs. You don't get to enjoy freedoms. You've been tortured. You've been controlled. These are people who were supposed to be masters, but warped and corrupt. There's masculine and feminine energies here that really have run amok. Freemason, Eastern Star to start. The rogue ones. Because they too are on the other side of the veil and not rogue. There's a science and a respect and a regard for being a Freemason, to be an Eastern Star. These people is doing what they're doing now. They are not Eastern Stars or Freemasons. They are doomed. You hear that? I don't know if you heard that siren in the background. Yeah, I'm giggling because it's nice. It's nice. It's justice. So, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this really confirms a lot and entertains you as well, as far as like seeing Dantor and you seeing, it's an entertainment depicting all the shit that was causing our containment. Okay, they had us like in an experiment, like a Hunger Games with the dome on top of us, right? Or the Truman Show. I hear this all the time in the collective reads. They did that, but the show's over as far as us. Okay, it's coming to a close, I should say. It's climaxing. Okay, and after the climax, you catapult out of Act 2. You go into Act 3. Boom. Here we go. The resolution. We're almost there, y'all.